From our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening everyone. First tonight to some unfolding news, and there has been a tragic development in the search for a Tasmanian Bucks party guest missing in the Murray River at Mildura. Our reporter Mark Zeta joins us now. Mark, a body has been found by police divers.
That's right, Kim. The 34-year-old Tasmanian disappeared when a boat capsized during a Bucks party just before midnight on Saturday. 3 other men managed to resurface and make it to a safety on a nearby houseboat. Police were called at 2:40 yesterday morning after the group realised the man was missing. A major search was conducted soon after with combined crews from Victoria and New South Wales Police in addition to Victorian SES. This afternoon, more than 24 hours after he was reported missing, New South Wales Police issued a statement saying they had located a body in the Murray River just before 1:30 p.m. by their divers. While the body is yet to be formally identified, New South Wales Police believe that it is of the missing Tasmanian. Kim.
Okay, thank you, Mark. Well, a Freedom of Information document has exposed the extent of vacant residential land in Tasmania. 15,000 blocks are currently sitting dormant as building figures join the state's opposition's push to better utilise empty spaces.
When it comes to the serious lack of housing supply confronting Tasmanians, the construction industry says it's time to either build up or build out.
We need to do a better job of converting land that is zoned residential into land that is ready for new residential construction.
Eager to cut the red tape, the fine print of RTI documents has divulged just how many residential blocks remain unused.
For this financial year, there are 15,561 vacant lots that could be used to build a home on. They're all zoned residential.
Pleading for more land to be released to get on with the job.
It is crucial that we can incentivise those who own land to develop that land so that we can meet these targets.
We obviously want as many blocks of land brought online as quickly as possible because we know, and we've said from the start, that actual supply is the best way to deal with the housing shortage that we've got at the minute.
Amid pressure mounting on the sector, a parliamentary petition is backing the prospect of an empty homes levy as the way forward.
If we want to increase supply, we have to maximise the use of existing residential properties.
A number of community groups have thrown their support behind the levy, which they believe will encourage property owners to return empty homes to the rental market.
It's no different in a way, Labor saying we've got these thousands of vacant blocks, than the Liberals saying we'll build 10,000 homes within the next decade. People need relief now.
Grace Evans, 7 Tasmania News.
Flinders Island residents have welcomed the official reopening of a major water storage facility at Whitemark. Work on the 10-metre tall Henderson Dam has secured water availability for generations to come.
Water all around, with plenty now to drink. Taswater's $17 million dam revamp hoping to quench an island's thirst.
This has been a great project across layers of government, and this is an example of getting things done for local communities.
Locals and dignitaries alike pouring in for the official reopening of Henderson Dam. The long-awaited project has doubled the capacity of the island's largest water storage facility.
It's about, setting up and providing the right infrastructure, water infrastructure, to support an existing population, a growing population.
Originally slated to begin in 2020, COVID put a spanner in works before major issues were found with the original structure.
It did have tree roots and other foreign material in it, which just couldn't be certified to modern standards, so we undertook that larger project.
More than 500 cubic metres of concrete have been poured to create this new spillway, which has been designed to withstand a 1-in-1,000-year flood.
It was quite challenging, but to really see the entire project team lift to that challenge was quite great.
It's hoped the new construction will have positive flow-on effects.
It's great that people aren't going to have to be worrying about their water security anymore, that they're not having to rely on having that water tank there and making sure it's filled going into summer.
Annie Green, 7 Tasmania News.
Vulnerable Tasmanians are being urged to get in first as the 2023 COVID-19 booster vaccine hits the market. From today, the booster is available at pharmacies and GPs statewide, with anyone who hasn't had COVID or a vaccine in the past 6 months eligible.
We're expecting as we come into winter hence the timing of this program, we may see another surge.
Tasmania has recorded 465 new COVID cases in the past week, bringing the state's total number of cases to more than 285,000 since December 2021. Tasmania's Seniors Card incentive has launched for another year in a bid to ease cost of living pressures. Discounts are being made available at more than 600 local and interstate businesses, with over 100,000 people expected to benefit.
Looking at groups that are marginalised and looking at groups that are finding issues financially is more important than ever before.
We're launching the directory not just in the normal places that we've used over previous years like libraries and electorate offices, but that the neighbourhood house network as well has come on board now. So that's more than 35 additional outlets that will have access to distributing this directory.
To apply for a card, you must be over 60 years of age and living in the state. Further information about the program can be found online. Could the next champion racehorse be from Tasmania? That's the hope for many stables opening their wallets at this year's Magic Millions yearling sale. Despite a slow start to bidding, some horses fetch prices over $100,000.
These youngsters could be the next big thing in racing. 140 horses up for auction at this year's Magic Millions yearling sale at Quercus Park.
There's buyers from all over Australia here in Tasmania for the sale, and it's just a great week for Launceston.
The sale is held in conjunction with Tas Breeders and Tas Racing, showcasing the best Tasmanian horses to potential owners.
It's a four-legged filly related to a good horse racing in Adelaide.
I've come down from New South Wales. We come regularly.
Horses such as Mystic Journey and Still a Star were bought from the annual event, with potential buyers having a high regard for Tasmanian-bred horses.
Oh, they're just usually well bred, and I know a few of the studs around here, Grenville stud.
As the day goes on, the market should continue to strengthen, and just hope we're in for a healthy market for the Tasmanian breeders.
And strengthen it did. 3 horses from Whitemore-based Grenville stud, run by Graham McCulloch, selling for over $100,000. This year's event, the second highest grossing in its history, with the second highest average price of $37,000.
For 105.
This is where they sell their product that they breed each year, so it's very important to get these out onto the racetrack.
Magic Millions recently signed a new long-term deal with Tas Breeders and Tas Racing, securing the future of the sales. Mark Zeta, 7 Tasmania News.
Mona Foma has delighted crowds in Launceston despite attendance rates being down on previous years. The fun far from over, with performers now travelling down the highway to give the southern part of the state a taste of the action.
Alive with various sounds of music, Launceston has had its fix of Mona Fona fun. The unique event bringing something to suit all ears, from angelic tones to 100 hours of drumming across 10 days. While attendance numbers were lower than previous years, excitement remained at an all-time high.
The audience reacted with awe, being stunned, shocked, gratefulness. Like, a lot of people were thanking us for bringing such a wide variety of performers and artworks to the city.
The artists now taking their creative juices down south.
Hobart's going to be very big. We have Bon Iver tomorrow, and that's already, packing out the MyState Bank Arena.
Hobart's warm weather rolling in just in time to complement the Mona sessions with a diverse range of talent on the cards from Friday. The Van Diemen's Band is one of them, joining forces with Ensemble Kabul to sweep crowds away with a sound like no other.
The idea of the program is to bring together the differences and the similarities of the Western music canon and Afghan music.
I think the people will feel the culture, and for the audience, I hope that it will be a good discovery.
And in true Mona fashion, there's no telling what surprises this weekend might bring. Brianna Boylan, 7 Tasmania News.
A new photography exhibit celebrating the 85-year history of St Giles Disability Support is now on display at Launceston's QV Mag. FaceTime profiles former staff, board members and people living with disability, along with supporters.
We wanted to take our people essentially away from St Giles and capture them at places where they were at their most natural.
This exhibition was born of the COVID pandemic. As you might be aware, St Giles was actually established during the polio pandemic in 1937 in Launceston.
The exhibition will be on display until June. Dress for Success is receiving a $60,000 boost as Aurora Energy commits to another 2 years to the charity, coming on board as its change room sponsor.
For some people it can be challenging at a time in re-entering into the workforce, and Dress for Success is such a practical way of assisting women in that journey.
This partnership will enable us to employ staff to support the programs that we deliver each week in our boutique. It will allow us to support the volunteers.
Charity has supported more than 500 women since opening its doors in 2019, with demand expected to surge over the next year. The Jack Jumpers have returned home from New Zealand after a difficult loss to the Breakers brought their NBL Championship dreams to an end for the season. While disappointed, the club still deeming their second year in the competition a success. Keeping fingers crossed, some import teammates will consider another year of defending the island.
Always a tough one with professional sports. The turnovers, especially with imports, is always high, but we were recruiting them last night and the boys are getting around, run it back, you know, so we'll always be chasing that.
The side's best talent will now be formally recognised at the organisation's MVP Awards on Saturday night. Tasmania will be chasing back-to-back WNCL titles on Sunday when we go head-to-head against South Australia in a grand final rematch. After finishing on top of the table, the Tigers have secured hosting rights for the final, looking to stick to their winning formula for the biggest match of the season.
It's worked for us so far, and we won't be changing much. There'll be some excitement and nerves, and people are just keen to go back to back.
All the action begins at Blunston Arena after 2 o'clock, with entry free for fans wanting to cheer on the Tigers in Hobart. Meanwhile, the Tasmanian Tigers men's squad has been announced ahead of its first Marsh Sheffield Shield match at home this season. Jake Doran and Riley Meredith have been welcomed back with open arms, while Billy Stanlake's injury and Matthew Wade's PSL commitments kept the duo out of selection. Tom Andrews has been omitted from the side after the team's disappointing draw with New South Wales last week.
We know we're better than that, and we knew it was going to be a slow, low wicket, and chop-ons and LBWs and all that is just criminal.
Take on Western Australia at Blunston Arena tomorrow morning.
Good evening. 25 across Launceston and Burnie today. Devonport 24, 15 in Hobart. 26 was the state's top in St Helens, Lyowini 19 and 23 at Flinders Island. On the close-up, low-level cloud is seen covering most of Tasmania except the north coast. Further out, thunderstorms are seen over inland states apart from Tasmania and Victoria. Tomorrow shows a high over the Bight, extending a ridge over Victoria and Tasmania, while a trough runs down the WA coast. South to southwesterly winds tomorrow reaching 15 to 25 knots, swells up to 4 metres in the west and south and up to 1 metre in the north. A strong wind warning is current for the far northwest coast, Bank Strait, Franklin Sound and Flinders Island. Tomorrow's forecast now: Hobart and Adventure Bay partly cloudy, 16 in Tarraleah. In the north, Launceston cloud clearing, 23 about Devonport and Bridport. Burnie and Marrawar tomorrow, 21, partly cloudy in Strawn. St Helens and Swansea partly cloudy and 21 in Whitemark. The UV is reaching very high 8s across the state. Looking ahead to the 3-day forecast now: Wednesday fine with northeasterly winds, Thursday possible light showers in the northwest, and Friday fine with warmer temperatures about the south. Capital cities 31 and sunny in Perth tomorrow, Adelaide mostly sunny and 29 in Sydney. And currently Hobart 17 and mostly cloudy, Launceston 24 and Devonport 21 and mostly cloudy. That's all in weather, Kim.
Thank you very much, Jackie, and that is all your news for now. Good night.